Well, good afternoon and good morning, depending on where you're at. Thanks to everyone who was praying for my sermon this past Tuesday, Perseverance and Trials, and the Trials of Life. I feel like my point made its way across to the listeners there, and I put it on YouTube so other people could listen to it as well who weren't able to be there. But yeah, I feel like with the illustrations and just the preaching in general, I feel like I was able to get across basically, the heart of our trials in life and how they can build us up to have more perseverance than before we had that trial in our life, um, and a bunch of different stuff like that. A lot of goodies in my sermon this past Tuesday. So thank you for everyone who was praying for that, and also just all the details of my process of moving right now. I do have a huge praise to mention in regards to that. There was basically almost everything in my house now is sold. It's either sold and gone or sold and not been picked up yet, but it has basically all been claimed. There's maybe just a couple small items, but I might end up selling those. I might end up giving those away. I'm not sure. But at any rate, all the big stuff is basically sold. So there was a guy that came over the other day, and he was one of my friends here who's kind of newer to town. And he decided that he wanted to buy quite a bit of stuff, a lot of the big stuff and a lot of small stuff as well. So that super takes a load of stress off because I don't have to worry about that really anymore, because I can either sell the rest of the stuff or just give it away at the end. But at any rate, that is super encouraging. So thank you to everyone who has been constant in prayer about about that. And then, yeah, and also just in regards to the logistics of everything, and then the cultural goodbyes and everything. And so for this week, the thing that I would emphasize for prayer, if you um, would be able to pray for the going away parties that are coming up. There's a lot of them coming up, and this week there's already been a couple in the past weeks, but this week has about three of them, and then next week there's going to be several as well. So yeah, and then it should be this week and next week. After this week and next week, it should be pretty much relaxed in terms of what they call perpisahan, which is like your going away party, and these different groups of your friends. So yeah, so if you could just pray for those times. Actually, I had one last night, and yeah, I ate a ton of pizza. So, but normally it's more Indonesian food and stuff like that. So, at any rate, yeah, please pray for all these different gatherings that I'll be having, that I could do them in a culturally appropriate manner, and that, yeah, that they could uh, be glorifying to the Lord. So that's my main prayer request for you all as you pray for me and just everybody here who's doing missions here. So thank you to everyone who's out there, and we will see you next week.